Assalamu alaikum. My name is Dr. Moona Ahmad. I'm the head of the Department of Ophthalmology at Shalimar Hospital. Today I want to talk to you about my journey into ophthalmology. And just like you, I started out as a med student at Al-Khan. I had a very unique background because I had done my undergraduate degree in the US before I started med school. When I started, I knew medicine was what I wanted to do. So that singular thing was very clear. But which exact field I wanted to go into was still a big question mark, like it is for a lot of you. So starting out in med school, one of the things that I learned very quickly from my seniors was that a lot of the people who were undergoing successful matches in America were people who were doing a fair amount of research even as medical students. So early in my journey, I decided that I wanted to set myself up for success. And one of the components of that was using every little bit of time that I had uh, free as a med student, doing something that was engaging me clinically. So, as a first and second year medical student, the only thing you really have access to is just simple research projects or bench research, which means working in a lab. And the first opportunity I got was around my third year, where I decided to work in a proper lab where I was assigned a small part of a research project. And I took it on readily because it was an easy, low-hanging fruit. I was able to engage in research and participate in something very meaningful. For my future research, I decided that I wanted to go more on the clinical side. So after my and during my fourth year, when research time came, which was usually my summer vacation time, I decided to uh, do clinical research. And I engaged in that in my fourth year. Then fifth year was our biggest block of research. And I decided to apply, as did a lot of my colleagues, for research or slash electives at Harvard. And I was paired with an ENT specialist. Very quickly in my time with him, I realized, even though I was an honor student in ENT, that ENT was not the subject for me. I pivoted while I was doing my ENT rotation into ophthalmology and started attending at the same institution a lot of conferences that were open to the public and other physicians, and noticed that ophthalmology just opened up a whole new world for me in terms of interest. And that literally like unlocked it for me. And I started attending more and more of ophthalmology lectures and realized that this was a field I really wanted to pursue. Much like you, I got very limited exposure in my medical school in ophthalmology, so an elective was the perfect time to explore that. I was paired with a world-renowned ocular immunology specialist, Dr. Foster, who really put the bug of research in me, and rightly so, because he was very well published. I learned very quickly that a lot of international medical graduates had started working with him, and he was mentoring them through their research projects. So when I completed my electives, he offered for me to join him after I graduated from med school and work with him on several research projects that I had started as a med student. On graduation, I returned right away. In fact, the month I graduated, I was in the US and started my research journey. I did research for about a year and a quarter while I simultaneously studied for my USMLEs, and then matched into Beth Israel for my internal medicine, and then into ophthalmology at Boston University. So my advice to you, as you embark on this journey of ophthalmology or even matching into internal medicine or surgery in the US, is please start doing your homework early. In your first and second year, start looking at and talking to your seniors, talking to your supervisors and your consultants about what they like or dislike about their field. The earlier you do this research, you start knocking off what you don't want to do. That leaves a subset of subjects that you may be interested in or fields you may be interested in. And if I was you, I would use every little bit of, holiday time and, summer vacation time to start shadowing people in their clinics. That'll give you a fair exposure of what life is like for those people. Obviously, it's going to be different in Pakistan versus the US, but it'll give you a flavor for what that field is like. It'll tell you, do you enjoy surgery or you don't? It'll also tell you, do you like more clinic time or surgical kind of, experience? And depending on what you find is your passion, you should then start to narrow down your interests. And for that, I would recommend, talking to your seniors, connecting with alumni, and then finding research projects that you could start soon after you graduate. It is becoming increasingly important that students have some kind of a research portfolio going into any kind of residency. So, so one of the pieces of advice I want to give you, regardless of which subspecialty you choose, is that number one, start early, as I mentioned. Number two, connect with your alumni. There are Shalimar graduates that are present in many different hospitals in the US. Please start connecting with them now while you're still a med student. Third is talk to your faculty about engaging in research projects that pertain to the field that you want to pursue. The earlier you decide what you want to do, the easier your life will become after graduation because you will be very hyper-focused on what you want to achieve. The fourth thing is, depending on your resources, so if you have the ability to go abroad and do electives, especially in the country of your choice where you want to eventually end up, please start doing that early. I would definitely recommend connecting with family members who may be placed abroad and trying to do research positions with them, because a letter of recommendation that comes from someone who is a colleague or a friend who practices locally will have far greater weightage than, someone who may be practicing in Pakistan. And that's just an unfortunate reality at this time. But those of you who do not have the resources, you don't give up, engage in international research even from Pakistan. You can collaborate with other med students and do collaborative projects that will allow you to get your name out on international publications. So other than that, if you're lucky enough and you do this research and you do get invited to the US for an interview, please remember there are some tips that I have shared with your colleagues about professional dressing, interview tips, and use your faculty who have trained in those countries to do mock interviews with you before you actually spend thousands of dollars going abroad and doing these interviews for real. USMLE scores are critically important. I would start studying in my second year for your step one. Try to get that done by year three. Do your step two before you finish your med school, and finally step three soon after graduation. So when you lay out your journey like that, matching into a good program becomes so much easier rather than starting after you graduate. So I hope these tips help, and our doors are always open for you to come and talk to us. Good luck.